And
Okay.
we're live.
Does this count as live if it's pre-recorded?
Shut up. I'm the one doing the intro here.
Okay,
I'll
sure.
do it as I please.
All right, that's fair
This is the
enough.
first episode of the incredible Get Alongcast, wherein me and my wonderful friend Jay, I'm not sure what he actually wants me to call him here.
Just call me Jay. I told you to call me that. God damn it.
Okay. I call him Julius once in a while. That's not his name. But
No.
anyways, it's the first episode of the Get Alongcast, where me and my friend Jay try and become friends instead of being arch nemeses over pointless bullshit that over the last 4 years.
Yeah.
This is a highly personal and real project.
I'm honestly not expecting this to get anywhere, but fuck it. Why not? Let's just do this. Let's do it.
Featuring amazing cross-promotion on my shitty YouTube channel and his shitty Tumblr. And SoundCloud.
Hopefully, we'll get something out of this, but I'm not expecting much, if anything. But, let's not ramble about, getting social media followers and instead actually ramble about topics that people might actually want to be interested in listening about.
Well, you're in for a bad time because I have 9/10 of the stories I can provide people are weird niche anime products.
Well, considering this is gonna go right up on Tumblr where anime is strangely popular, I don't think that'll be much of a problem.
Alright, so this is the Get Along cast of 2015, 11/20, and this is our first top story.
Actually, it's the 21st.
Oh yeah.
The 20th was yesterday.
Okay. So
Well-
our first big story, because this to really sell everyone on what I bring to this table. So I linked you to this story, right? It's the monster Musume body pillow.
How can I forget that? Honestly.
That's a knee slapper.
Give him the details.
So, wow, thanks. I need that. So, I think it was Comic Cat 88. It was they had a monster Musume body pillow, specially made, whatever, what have you. It is a 10-meter long pillow of the main monster girl from the show, the Lamia. It's fucking 23 feet long. Everyone I show this picture to, I'm gonna put it in the description. You scroll down the page, you're like, oh, it's whatever, it's a Dakimakura, and it just keeps going.
Okay, now, as someone that has a lot of physical anime merchandise, like figures and shit,
Me too.
Let's get that out of the way now. We're both, really
huge weebs.
Yeah. But then, anyway, I don't understand. Well, I mean, I guess I can see the point of a body pillow, but I don't get the whole Dakimakura thing.
They're so expensive.
Well, yeah, that number one. Well, okay.
No, for me, it's whatever. It's creepy. And whatever. We're all entitled to do whatever we want with our lives. That's fine.
Yeah.
But what bothers me is that Dakimakura costs hundreds of dollars for a good quality one. And just guess the price of this 7-meter long body pillow.
Now, you know what? You actually linked me to this article earlier in the week, and I read the price, and was completely outraged at it, because it's just so...
Outraged? That implies that you're pissed off because you were going to get one of these.
What? Okay, number one, I've never even watched Monster Musume. Number two... It's well, I figured it sucked. It's the fucking Monster Girl anime, for fuck's sake. But
don't go there.
I won't go there this episode, but we'll see. But fucking it's just cloth. I don't.
Cloth and stuffing. Go to Toys R Us and buy a big dog plush and just paint. I don't know. Fuck. You want to cuddle with something while you sleep? Fine, but.
I really don't understand the whole having an anime character next to you while you're sleeping thing. Maybe it's just because I'm not forever alone. I don't know. Not to reference memes from 2009, but...
anyway. We forgot to say this, but the price of the Dakimakura is 100,000 yen.
Oh,
which
Jesus
is about $1,009 Canadian.
Jesus Christ. That's just under $1,000 in US dollars, I believe. Which, not that that's much of a difference, but why? I can think of so many things that I would rather spend $1,000 on than a fucking body pillow. Even if it's like 20 fucking 8 meters long, whatever the fuck it is. I don't even know.
I'd spend my $1,000 on that plexiglass Maoyu figure that they won't ship to Canada because it would be destroyed in transit.
Why would you buy something that'll be broken the second you get it, then?
Shut up! I like Maoyu.
Fair enough.
So your turn. Story time.
Story time. Okay. This is actually something that I actually just recently found out about, as in yesterday. I'm not sure if you watch Gravity Falls at all. If you have ever watched it in the past.
I know a few guys who always tell me to, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, basically, the creator, Alex Hirsch, posted on his official Tumblr that the last 2 episodes of the current season will actually be the series finale, which is a bit shocking considering the show is only 2 seasons long and, has been fairly heavily marketed by Disney and a lot of other things recently. Now, it's not because the show's getting canceled. The show is actually having a proper ending. The last episode, Weirdmageddon Part 3, is actually going to be an hour-long series finale. I haven't been caught up on Gravity Falls since probably the middle of 2013. But, I don't know, like, to me it feels like it's ending a bit early. Like, yeah, from what I know, the plot is kind of starting to wrap up a little bit, but, like, we just found out who the author of the journals was. Well, the journals being, these books that have information on certain weird happenings in and around Gravity Falls. We finally found out who wrote them, like, just a couple months ago, and to go from that plot point to the end of the series, I don't know, it just feels like it might be a bit
out of left field.
Yeah, like, it's just like, it would be like if Homestuck actually ended in 2012.
You know what? I didn't actually do this, but I was talking to Neek the other day, and I was making a bet with him. I'm like, I wonder how many episodes it'll take until Jay makes a Homestuck ending joke.
Well, you know what? I might as well get that out of the way on the first episode, so we can not worry about when I'm gonna show my Homestuck trash to the entire world. But
hey, the first story I opened up with is Monster Girl.
Okay, that's a fair point. That's a very fair point. But what was I gonna say?
What this actually reminds me of, just hearing about how it's a good show, be marketed out the ass, lots of people watching it, whatever. Reminds me of what happened with Danny Phantom back in the day,
right?
Where the show is doing great, and it's like, we're done.
Yeah, like, I don't understand why Danny Phantom ended when it did, because that show had a lot of fucking potential to be even bigger than it already was, and they canceled it for more SpongeBob and Fairly. Well, I don't know if they canceled it, but it ended, and there's more.
They've been showing reruns ever since the quote unquote last episode.
Have they really? I haven't been paying attention to
That's
it,
what
honestly.
I've always read, how it's like the show was just getting reruns after rerun after the show ended. Like, it wasn't a cancellation at all. It was just no more new episodes coming.
Huh. Well,
I guess you could say that show was going ghost, but,
God damn it.
Hey, whackity, smackity, doo.
On that note, I think we should probably... I can't really talk much about Gravity Falls because I haven't watched.
You don't want to spoil it, right?
I don't want to spoil anything. I'm tagging my Gravity Falls spoilers.
The opposite bet is me saying tag your Undertale spoilers.
Does that count right now?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, fuck.
I got to actually use it.
Okay, well, in that case, shut the fuck up, dog.
I can't hear him, don't worry.
Well, okay, good. In that case, I think we should probably move on to something else, because, like I said...
My next amazing product story.
Oh, boy.
So, the Good Smile Company, beloved makers of Figma and Nendoroid.
Of which I have several.
I have 2 Nendoroids staring at me right now, and Nyaruko's over there on my shelf, pointed right at where I sit when I'm on my computer. The Good Smile Company is making Virtua Fighter 1 Figmas.
Oh no,
and
not this.
Virtua Fighter 1 has some of the best bad models ever, because there's on a 32-bit whatever. The 3D is very robust. And they're making these Figmas after those proportions. And you look at the prototypes they made, and they're super blocky and everything. It looks so awesome. I have to get them when they come out. They're making one of Akira and one of Sarah Bryant. And Sarah Bryant's a cool Jeet Kune Do lady. She's awesome.
Now, we'll probably have links to pictures of the prototypes in the description. Mm-hmm. But after looking at them myself, I don't think buying those would be a good idea if you have small children in the house, because there's a very high possibility that who's the one with are they both female or I don't know the names. I'm not familiar with Virtua Fighter.
The Kung Fu Man is Akira.
Right. Well, basically those boobs are an eye hazard. Like, you could probably poke someone's eye out with those if you tried, to be completely honest.
Yeah, they're apparently these were revealed a few months ago. Mm-hmm. But it's only now I was really exposed to pictures of them, and I'm just now also kind of falling in love with Virtua Fighter. I picked up Final Showdown on PlayStation a while ago. Fucking awesome series. Probably one of the funnest fighters I can think of. Very simplistic.
Well, we have differing opinions on that. I don't really play fighters that much, but the ones that I do like are Toho, but, Oh! Yes, I know.
And I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm just going to steamroll right into my next thing, because it's also a fighting game subject.
Go right ahead.
KOF 14 they did their second trailer just recently, and this ties into it. This has a two-part story. They did their second trailer, showed more of the gameplay off, was not just the teaser, and everyone was pretty upset because the graphics looked like ass. They looked like butts, and not the good kind.
Not like Street Fighter V butts, but
oh, jeez, not like our Mika's giant censored butt, but it looked awful. That's all I could say. It showed like a little bit of footage. I think there was like a split second of Leona in there, and it was just kind of Kyo and Iori kind of punching each other a bit, and then it had a goofy voice clip going, "The King of Fighters."
Oh, God.
And it looked like crap, and everyone was just like, "Oh my god, this game's gonna suck," even though the gameplay looked really good. And it was so early, there's no HUD. The lighting is clearly incomplete. And along with the trailer, SNK announced that they are no longer making pachinko machines, so they can focus on bringing high-quality games to us.
So
namely, the King of Fighters 14.
So
they pulled an anti-Konami.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Okay, but just for my clarification, who makes King of Fighters again? Like, what company?
SNK Playmore. It's to quote the arcade intro, it all began in 94, kept on rolling into 95, and now here we are now in 2015.
And we're scrambling to get good things. But, I don't know, like, I really, on the topic of game development in general, and, like, people making judgments about things that aren't even released yet, like, okay, I can understand the hype machine. I understand how it works. I've been, following gaming news for probably the entire time that I've been on the internet, which has been, at least a decade by now. But I just
Since
really...
you were born. You were born with a laptop in your hands.
I was born with a fucking what are those things called?
The Sony VA10s.
No, a PDA. I was born with a PDA in my hands, basically, just to show my age, which isn't very high. But anyway, I really never understood the idea of completely bashing a game just because of like pre-release material.
Trailer?
I mean, okay,
a teaser trailer.
Yeah, like a teaser trailer and shit like that. Like, obviously the game isn't finished. It's clearly still rough around the edges. Like you said, there was no HUD in that trailer. Like, how can you have a fighting game without a HUD? You can't. So I don't really understand the whole bashing shit before you even have a chance to put your hands on it kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, as the game gets more polished and gets closer to release and stuff, then you can kind of start to formulate opinions on it.
It's funny you mentioned that, because at the next showing of that trailer at like a major Japanese event, the trailer looked 1,000 times better. Everything was cleaned right the fuck up. Didn't look like Street Fighter V. Because Street Fighter V looks really good. Mm-hmm. It just looked way better, like much more acceptable, much more complete. The fucking textures looked a lot more finished. And all these people who I know personally were just immediately tucked their tail between their legs and just kind of waddled out the room. And were just like, oh, I'm sorry. It's yeah, you fucking better be.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, how are you going to judge something if you haven't actually had the chance to, to mess around with it, to play the game, to fucking, I don't know, what else do people judge before it gets released? Everything?
Everything. I almost skipped out on Undertale because I didn't like the demo.
Oh, okay, that's kind of fair, honestly, because the demo is just the first part of the game, and the first part of the game is really
so
boring.
Much different from the rest of it.
It's so... I don't want to just go off on the Undertale spiel yet, but fucking the first part of the game, it's a good tutorial level, but it's not very interesting.
It's not very interesting, and when you're trying to get a feel for what the plot of the game's looking like back when it was still a Kickstarter project, it did a horrible job in selling the game to me. I'm like, oh, it's going to be one of those quote-unquote fake games where it's like, oh, I'm a silly video game. And then you play it, and it's like, ooh, spooky ghosts. Except it was just, instead of spooky ghosts, the game was going to go, why do you save your game? What a nerd.
Right.
And it's like, oh, okay.
Now, I think... the demo not really showcasing a lot of the plot was kind of dumb.
Was it a good thing?
Yeah, it was definitely a good thing, and I think Toby also did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Because, obviously, if you've played Undertale, you know that it's best experienced without having anything spoiled to you whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And generally the people that wind up loving it are people that, haven't really, gotten spoiled to anything about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So... I think from a design standpoint, that was a really good move. But from a gameplay standpoint, debatable.
Yeah.
We could probably talk about that for the entire rest of this episode.
Someday we'll make an Undertale spoiler cast where we just have a fucking hour of us discussing Undertale.
I can't wait for that because I have so much I want to talk about. But we'll get to that later. Now, it's funny that you mention... before King of Fighters, you were talking about something on a Sony console or something, right?
Virtua Fighter.
Virtua Fighter, right. Now, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that, because that actually ties into one of the topics that I have for today. And I actually just heard about this recently. Again, just like the first topic, I just read about it today, actually. Sony is actually working on bringing PS2 games to the PS4.
Nice.
Which is something that they said was impossible in the first place, but considering Microsoft has kind of reversed their backwards compatibility standpoint to some degree, it's just 100 games, I know, but it's possible thanks to emulation. They're working on some different emulation technology to bring PS2 games to the PS4, and there's no official timeline for any kind of release yet, but it's just interesting in a way to see that
piracy has benefited the world.
Yeah, basically. Like, it's interesting. Like, they made a big deal, like, oh, it won't be backwards compatible because of
the emotion engine.
Because of system architectures and things being different and stuff like that, and now they're working on emulators.
I'm looking back to my Blackheart figure that sits on top of my PlayStation. I'm just giving it a thumbs up.
It's definitely a good thing, because the PS2 is, hands down, probably one of, if not the best gaming console that has ever existed so far.
Now, my brother and I argue about this a lot. I contend that is the greatest system made economically.
Yes.
In terms of sales, I think the greatest system ever made is the Super Nintendo. In terms of, sheer volume and replayability. Like, if you were stuck on an island forever, I'd take a Super Nintendo over PS2. But that's when it gets down to opinions. That's why I try to argue with him about it.
Yeah.
But he and I have a tendency to argue about pointless bullshit and get really spirited about it. So.
Oh, trust me, I've heard. I know this for a fact. Just from, random conversations about it. But anyway. I just...
Go on.
I don't know where I was going with that, honestly. I don't know. I don't have a PS4. I think PS2 games coming to it may be a kind of a draw to people that are still kind of on the fence about getting, you know, a PS4 or an Xbox One.
I'd still never get a PS4.
Like that,
I would never buy a PS4. I specifically won my PS4, and that was the only way I'd get my hands on one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I don't know if it's just me, or if this is kind of like an opinion that people in the gaming community kind of feel, but like, there's just not a whole lot of things on the next gen consoles, save for like the Wii U, that really interest me.
The Wii U sucks.
Like, okay, yes, the Wii U.
No, well, the Wii U sucks, man. Shut up. It's what good games does it have? Oh, all the good next gen games. Oops, right? Sorry.
Like, if you were to ask me what's coming out for the PS4 that I'm interested in, I would not be able to answer.
Senran Kagura Estival Versus.
Well, okay, that's you, but for me, I don't have an answer. Because I don't know of anything that's coming out for the PS4 that I would want, except for maybe, like,
Indivisible.
Final Fantasy 14. Oh, Indivisible. We should talk about that.
Segue, go right ahead.
Segue. All right. So, I'm sure if you're listening to this, you probably know what Indivisible is by now. But if you don't, oh boy, it's time for me.
You suck. I mean, what?
It's time for me to shill. Indivisible is an action RPG by Lab Zero Games, or the people who are responsible for Skullgirls.
Woo!
Recently, they put a Indiegogo up in order to try to raise money to fund development for the game, and it's kind of been struggling for pretty much the entire run of it.
Yeah,
I didn't actually check. I meant to check how much money it has right now.
I'm actually looking at the page right now. It's currently $1,070,880.
That is absolutely fantastic.
And there's 13 days left. It's 71% funded. We're just about there. This thing has been really struggling its whole fucking way up. And right before it ran out, they managed to get a 20-day extension to it. So, it's close. They're gonna cut this close. It's the most this company's ever made on Kickstarter. But if they can't reach their goal, the game does not get made. And if you're a fan of like Valkyrie Profile or their art, any Skullgirls artwork in the slightest, you're a fan of just action RPGs, it's awesome. There's a prototype on the Indiegogo page that I highly recommend to anyone. It's free. And there's even the prototype on PS4 now, which, if you own a PS4 but you don't have a PC for some reason, you can go on the PlayStation Store and download Indivisible and treasure it forever as a prototype, since you can no longer get PT.
Oh, you had to go there.
I love PT, and once in a while I play it. It's great.
You had to go to PT. God damn it. But, yeah, I just pulled up the Indiegogo page myself, and just scrolling down, looking at all the different artwork, it's clear that they've put a lot, and I mean a lot of effort into the background design at least. And, of course, all the different characters and stuff. There's just so... One thing that I really like about Indivisible, is just the diversity of characters that they actually have in here. Like, there's just... Every couple... tens of thousands of dollars they raise, they reveal a new what are they called?
They're called incarnations, but
yes.
Incarnations are just your party members, basically.
Yeah, they reveal a new one every couple $1,000, honestly, and there's just the amount of variety of both body types and races and gender and all that other shit. Not to mention species, but it's just.
You can be a giant dog that shoots lightning.
You could be a giant... Whoa, hold the fucking phone. It shoots lightning?
That the giant dog has a sacred artifact around his neck that shoots lightning.
Jesus Christ, I need to play this immediately.
My personal favorites are Razmi and Lanchi. Lanchi's the dog, and Razmi is the angry shaman who doesn't want to be there.
But yeah, going back to what I was just saying, it's just really, in my opinion, it's kind of refreshing to see something so diverse in comparison to fucking brick-faced McWhite man protagonists.
The ultimate example of that is Magus on the PlayStation 3. That's one of the worst games ever made, but is the epitome of just like, why is your protagonist bald, tough guy?
In a game called Magus? Like, that doesn't...
Like, everyone just... I'm gonna leave it a mystery for now. We'll talk about it some other time. Go check out Magus. Just Google it. Look it up on YouTube. Just Magus PS3 and have a blast.
I'm gonna have to look this up once we're done recording because honestly, this it just doesn't make any sense. But anyway, oh god.
Another notable thing is that the game's very Super Metroid in the way you explore. Like that, you collect special weapons and tools that let you, do wall jumps and cross gaps, and can change the way your main character fights too. So and just playing the prototype, you really see that it's got like a Super Metroid feel to it, like just the way the map's laid out. Except imagine Super Metroid that once per hallway you had a really cool action-packed fight. It's awesome.
Now it's also kind of refreshing to see a Metroidvania-esque game that isn't totally fucking boring with the protagonists, like, anything, because I've kind of done some... Not to name anything specifically, but just looking at some other independent Metroidvania games that protagonists...
That aren't Metroidvanias?
That aren't actually Metroidvanias.
That's one of my 3 buzzwords, is Metroidvania, because, like, when you say Metroidvania, you're probably not a Metroidvania.
Yeah. It's just like, you could probably put a little bit more effort into everything, honestly. But not to name any names or anything like that. I'm not gonna purposefully shit on anybody right now.
You guys did a great job. I loved it. But this time, make it not shit.
Basically. Alright.
So, did you fund Indivisible yet? Did you put any money into it yet?
I haven't yet, and the only reason why I haven't is because I've been really lazy with actually playing the prototype. Like, that's honestly the one thing that...
Wow, good job selling the game there, man.
Look. Alright. I have been ridiculously busy with my own personal life. So I haven't had the time to actually sit down and devote to playing much of anything that takes longer than like 10 or 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the prototype at some point this weekend. If not tonight, probably tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And next week I will reveal whether or not I actually enjoyed it and if I'm backing it. And if I am backing it, at what level, so you can, one-up me, you piece of shit.
Actually, when we had that talk, I was kind of looking at it, and I'm looking at the price it's going, and I'm like, I really, really want this game to be real, because I really like these developers. They're really great people. They've got a lot of heart. They got a lot of moxie, kid.
Right.
And I was at the $30 backing tier where you get a digital game, character colors, and then you get the OST. I actually doubled my backer to the $60 one, where you get a physical game name in the credits and everything in the previous tiers. And it's just because, like, I mean it when I was posting this on Skype. Like, I really, really want to see this game get made. And it would break my heart if this game can't raise the money.
Well, on the bright side, we've got a little bit under 2 weeks to raise less than $500,000. So
that's both really good and really bad.
Yeah, but considering
the pace it's been going, it actually is not that scary a thought.
Yeah. I would say that it's probably going to get funded, but we'll talk about it, whether or not it gets funded, 2 weeks from now.
In fact, literally the day we record the podcast, it will be us crying about it not getting funded or cheering that it did get funded.
Or crying that it did get funded. You never know. I'm not in control of my emotions or anything.
I'm really bad with my emotions.
All right. So, next week we'll probably talk more about the prototype specifically, just because, I want to experience it for myself. And
there's a secret jump you can do to fight Mike Zero's cat as a secret boss.
Oh my god, I need to do it.
So be sure you try and get that. It's so difficult to do, but if you do it, you can fight the cat.
That sounds fantastic. I can't wait, honestly. Alright, so Let's kind of awkwardly segue into the next topic, whatever that winds up being.
Do you have anything planned? Because I still got stuff.
You go ahead, man. I don't have as much as you. I can tell you that right now.
So we're gonna shift away from games for a second here, just to talk about retro stuff.
Oh boy.
So I really like Gem and the Holograms.
Oh no, here we go.
Gem is an awesome 80s cartoon. It's one of the lesser known of the Hasbro 3, like the big toy line shows. But Gem is like a show about a lady whose father created the ultimate like hologram system that in the form of earrings, which are voice activated and hooked up to an AI supercomputer, which can produce realistic, sometimes hard light holograms. And this woman's father like tragically dies.
Of course.
And she takes control of his record company and discovers this AI system called Synergy. And from there, she becomes she forms a double identity using the holograms of the earrings to become Gem, the amazing superstar. And they also fight crime. And she runs an orphanage.
This is probably the most 80s thing anybody has ever explained to me in my entire life. Keep going.
It's awesome. And what I love about it, it's like she runs an orphanage. She's a fucking hero, man. And then you got the Misfits, and let's not get into it. So they brought Gem the Holograms back. I think it was about a year ago that they posted the trailer from Universal. I think it was Universal. Yeah, it was Universal Studios producing the movie. And it looked horrible. It's critically panned. No one was looking forward to the Gem and the Holograms movie. So it came out just about a couple weeks ago now. In what can only be deemed truly outrageous. This movie made on a measly $5 million budget.
Oh, that's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, that's like pathetic. They had no faith in this. It scraped in total $2.1 million out of moviegoers.
That's just honestly,
it has officially one of the worst openings in film history. People are learning their lesson. They're not going to the Transformers, whatever, fuck you. Like, people were looking at Gem and the Holograms and said, fuck that. And they didn't go. Its opening weekend pulled in $1.37 million. That's it.
Yikes.
And it made $160 on average per theater in the second week. Considering the price of popcorn, that's like 5 people. That's like 5 people going to each theater.
Yikes.
And the movie, before... It's the movie as soon as their fucking 2-week contractual obligation period was up, pulled the movie, got it the fuck out of there, scraped it under the rug, and just said, hey, you guys like Jurassic World, right?
Right. Now, it's funny that you mention movies that are completely and totally fucking failing at the box office, because I actually know of one that came out this year that did a whole lot worse, honestly.
Oh, God.
And, like, okay, I'll give the numbers before I actually give the name of the movie. The movie had a budget of $17 million.
Ooh.
And I don't know if this is just the opening weekend or if this is the total. Wikipedia doesn't really specify, and it's not, the most accurate source or whatever. But apparently at the box office, it made $174,289. With a budget of $17 million. Yikes. But
what is it? My mind really is hoping. It's hoping that's Paranormal Activity: The Ghost Dimension.
Unfortunately, it's not.
Damn.
Although that would have been great. The movie was actually Stonewall.
I've never even heard of it.
Okay, well, Stonewall. This movie is a dramatized history, and I use that term "history" lightly. Of the Stonewall
It's the violent clash with police that kicked off the gay liberation movement in New York City.
Yeah, basically, it's a giant fucking fucking whoop-de-doo celebration of all that stuff that happened. But like the one thing that a lot of people that I have spoken to personally are pissed off about that movie is it is not accurate in the slightest. Like it is so, how do I put this without sounding like I'm whitewashed? Like there's absolutely nothing accurate about this movie. It's like someone took the events of the movie and put it into a bad fan fiction, gave it a $17 million budget, and then made a movie out of it. It's just, and like even the main character isn't even relatable. Like, how are you gonna? I could fucking go on a whole tangent about this, but I'm not gonna. I was just gonna bring that up as a point, just to, you know, I don't even know why I brought it up, other than the earning disparity to the budget thing. But it's been so panned by everybody that has watched it to review it, and it's just, oh god, I don't even want to talk about this anymore. Let's move on to something else.
Okay. So, I'm just gonna read the headline.
Okay, go ahead.
Rumor.
Oh no.
Leading Japanese game company kidnapped dev's sister to stop them from working with Nintendo.
Oh no, not this.
I lost my shit when I read this. Okay. So, this is back in the 80s. And it's specifically a testimonial from a guy who's writing a book called The Untold History of Japanese Game Developers. This is from Volume 2, which is coming out very soon. I've actually read the first, good book. And just to describe what went down in this story. So, in '89, this guy's working with Nintendo. He's trying to push out an arcade machine. And a company, the company's name is redacted, but we'll talk about what company it might have been, hired the Yakuza to kidnap this man's sister to blackmail him into quitting his job at Nintendo. Jesus. And rather than calling the authorities or something like that, he knew he was totally screwed because basically entertainment in Japan is treated as pink entertainment because play is bad, the opposite of hard work, whatever. And so this guy says, I'm going to take matters in my own hands. And he steals a arcade machine from one of the offices of this company. And he grabs it and he dropped it in front of their offices with a crane.
Oh my god.
And then he told them one of their employees would be next to show them they were serious. And it's like holy shit.
Are you sure you're not making this up right now?
I'm sure. Can you imagine walking out of your office one day and just next to you, like, a Virtua Fighter machine just explodes at the ground? A guy just shows up and goes, "You're next." And
it's just like that one death scene in Final Destination 2 where the kid gets crushed by a pane of glass. Like, yuck. I don't want to clean that up. No thanks. But fucking way to kind of give away who you think the company that hired the Yakuza is with that subtle name drop. I picked up on that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that this story is kind of coming out amidst all this hype about, Yakuza 5 being localized and Yakuza 6 coming out. And what company really opposed Nintendo back in '89, especially in Japan? That's funny, I'm thinking about it. What kind of company would be nationalist enough to have strong ties to the Yakuza that the Yakuza would be willing to work with? A very, very nationalist organization. I'm thinking about it, and all I can think about is this blue hedgehog running really quick down a grassy field. And I don't know what that's from. I don't know. You got anything else to talk about?
Yes, actually. Let me see. Oh, we're going back into the video game topic.
It was Sega.
Yes. I figured it was Sega, but it was honestly either Sega or Capcom for me, but it's probably more Sega. But speaking of Nintendo, actually, this is going back to the whole Nintendo Direct thing. Next month is the final Smash Brothers Nintendo Direct, as I'm sure you're familiar with, and considering all the hype that's going on with Cloud Strife finally being in Smash Brothers.
The fangirls won.
Yes, the fangirls have finally won. I just wanted to, see if there was anything in particular that you think might be announced at that, and in that Direct.
I have no idea.
What do you think is going to happen, is what I'm asking, if anything.
You can never tell with Sakurai.
Well, okay.
One second he might be pitching for your team, the next he might be paying off the Yakuza to kidnap your sister. then the next second he'll make you trip. What an asshole!
All right. So yeah, honestly, I'm not really sure what to expect either. Like, obviously, it's going to be the last Nintendo Direct for Smash Brothers. Does this mean they're going to stop supporting Smash Brothers? Does this mean there's?
I hope not.
Well, I mean, obviously, there's probably still going to be like balanced patches and shit like that. But
it's probably
you know what? One thing that they probably are going to talk about is, do you remember a couple months ago with the DLC character ballot that people were voting on and stuff like that?
Oh, right.
They'll probably announce the results of that. And if that's the case, I wonder who the fuck would be number one. And please don't say Ridley, because I really don't want Ridley to be in Smash.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to level with you for a second. Let's talk a little bit about Smash Brothers character predictions.
Let's do it.
Let's pad out some time with that.
I
would love to see Ridley in Smash just to see how they would do it.
Okay,
but if there's a Nintendo character that should be in Smash Brothers, in my eyes, it should be fucking Bayonetta. A symbol of Nintendo's conquest over other publishers. Or 2, Wonder Red. It has to be something Platinum, because it's Platinum. They're supporting Nintendo. Nintendo's supporting Platinum.
I would personally love to see Bayonetta in Smash Brothers. I would
play the shit out of Bayonetta.
That would be so interesting, and not just because she's, walking sex appeal. Like, her entire...
There was one guy whose only job on the development of the original Bayonetta was modeling her back. Just the back. And he requested, can I please work on Bayonetta's back? I need to make it perfect. That's my thing.
My God. I can't believe that, but at the same time, I can, if that makes sense.
Hey, if there's a character who had your thing in that character, and you were going to work on this, and only the people at the office would know what you worked on, you would totally request, look, I have to give this character the most immaculate horns ever. Can I please be head of that team? I have the credentials.
Why did you go to horns? I know why you did it, but why did you go to horns?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just one of us, kind of likes Homestuck.
You son of a bitch.
Anyways, character predictions. Go.
Character predictions. Okay, so obviously you took the good one, Bayonetta.
And Wonder Red.
And Wonder Red, of course. One thing that I don't want from any more future DLC add-ons would be adjustments or clones of characters. People want Toon Zelda, and I'm just no. We already have 3 Links. Wait, Link, Toon Link, and fucking I counted Shulk as Link for some reason.
I know a guy who all my life I was like, man, he looks a lot like Link, and then Shulk happened, and I was like, actually, he looks like Shulk. So I can see the mix up.
Okay, yeah, but fucking, I would personally like to see how they would do a World Ends With You character, whether it be Neku or Joshua or someone, considering they already have a Square Enix character in the game.
Implying Square will talk about Tui.
But yeah, that will probably never happen again for the rest of my life. But
happen again? They're never going to talk about it.
Second
time. They've never had a second. They put it on iOS and said, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, that was the second time they talked about it.
I guess. My brother refuses to buy Square products because of that. Tui was his favorite game. That countdown they put on their website.
That was such a cock tease. Let's be honest.
He had that page open for an hour. And he texted me at work and said the big announcement was that there's going to be an iPhone version of The World Ends With You. And then I'm like, oh, that's it? And he just goes, that's it. I'm never going to buy a Square product ever again. And he stayed true to that. He will only buy them used to make sure they technically don't get his money.
That I still don't understand who the fuck thought that was a good idea. Like, this was fucking years ago, and I'm just still baffled at the fucking lack of intelligence in that move. Like, if you're gonna announce support of something, don't put it behind a 7-day countdown. You know that the fucking significance of that specific length of time to the fucking okay, on the one hand, not to derail from the Smash Brothers topic for too long, but on the one hand, I really want another 12 game because it's just,
it's one of the best RPGs ever made.
It's one of the best RPGs, and it's the best handheld RPG that I've ever played in my entire life.
I'm gonna say I think it is the best handheld RPG ever made because I've played quite a few. I haven't played them all, but I admit I might be wrong here. But I've never played a game that got me so engrossed, got me so anxious to min-max,
right?
Got me so anxious to unlock all of the secret stuff. And there's a lot of secret stuff.
Oh yeah,
as Tui, and like it's great. It's got a great art style. It's very stylized, amazing music.
The battle system is just so
inventive.
It's hard to learn. I'll give it that.
That's the point, though, right?
Exactly. But if you put some time into it, you actually,
it's so fun because like there's so much urgency to the battle,
right? Like it's just so. And I don't know how well that would translate to a fighting game, so maybe that's another reason why it wouldn't really happen. But it would be interesting to see, for Square at least to acknowledge that, hey, this thing still exists. We didn't fucking forget about it. But, knowing Square, probably won't happen. So, on that topic, another thing that I would probably like to see in Smash, I can't really think of anything, honestly.
That's all you got, eh?
I'm like, can you blame me though? Like, it would be.
Let's talk about what one of the more popular votes was.
Okay.
Based on analytics. King K. Rool. How do you feel about it?
King K. Rool. I honestly have not really been into the Donkey Kong series at all, so I know absolutely nothing about him. So I'm indifferent.
He's what he is. He's a fat crocodile and he hates monkeys.
Well, in that case, fucking do it. Just put it. Just fucking. We already have a fat lizard that hates plumbers. Why not add a fat crocodile that hates monkeys just to round out the cast a little bit more?
I maybe I'm doing this because of my tendency to have bad knee-jerk reactions to Neek, a buddy of mine, but I don't want to see King K. Rool in the game.
Why not?
I don't know. It's like there's just so many other people I'd like to see. It's like, yeah, we need more villains. I'd love to see some villains in the game, but he's a fat crocodile. What would his attacks even be? It'd just be like, oh, he smacks his big gut against you. He fires a blunderbuss.
He smacks you clear off the stage with his tail.
Great.
Fantastic.
I don't know, like, he could be interesting, and maybe they'll prove me wrong, but it's just, as far as people who I think, like, gotta be in Smash, it's like, I wouldn't put King K. Rool in.
That's fair.
I'll be honest, and I know how many people are gonna hate me for this. I want to see Wolf. I don't care if it's Wolf, I just want to see his moveset on something, because I thought it was cool.
Yeah, Wolf, I don't understand why they included him and then removed him. Like,
because his moveset had a lot of work put into it. It's very unique compared to these. I don't think he was a clone character. His moves were so much different. He didn't even have a multi-hit.
Right? He was probably one of the best Star Fox characters in Brawl.
And his voice was really cool.
Oh god, don't even get me started.
I'm gonna enjoy this.
Speaking of Star Fox, how do you feel about the
Star Fox Zero? Amazing.
Yes.
10 out of 10. I'm so excited. The Star Fox on SNES, one of my favorite games ever. Star Fox 64 3D, great fucking game. Good port. Great. Star Fox Command, not so good. Star Fox Adventures, great idea. The rush and the flawed execution really bring it down. Star Fox Assault, never fucking played it. I should probably go download that onto my not hacked Wii, and I will legally purchase it off of my favorite store, the Pirate Bay, and give it a shot. Star Fox Zero, it's gonna be amazing. They put the robot from Star Fox 2 that you can turn your R-Wing into a walker and he goes... Oh! I'm marking out over here. Star Fox 2 is my favorite unreleased video game. And to see more Star Fox 2 in Star Fox Zero is a 10 out of 10 in my books.
I'm honestly looking forward to it.
Good.
Okay. The call was kind of cutting out for a minute, so I was... Okay. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it, because... I'll be honest, I've only really played Star Fox 64, but...
Emulate Star Fox on SNES. I think it's even better than Star Fox 64. It's a lot more pure.
I'll have to, do that, but just Star Fox 64, it was such a good experience, just in general. Like, all memes aside, like, it's a very good game. It's very solid, and...
Will you be upset if Star Fox Zero doesn't say do a barrel roll?
Actually, no. I will not be upset.
I think they should. They have to honor the memory. But if they do if they go like full idiot and do it's like do a barrel roll, like over and over, that is when I'll draw the line. But
yeah, but I think they'll be relatively sensitive to the fact that this is a meme and people have been hearing it endlessly since like 2008, so they probably don't want to hear it more than once. And like they should probably, if they're gonna do it, they should do it right at the beginning of the game, so everybody can just get it over with.
I think it'll be like first level Corneria. He'll say it, ha ha ha. Let's all go home.
And this wasn't that the only time he said it in Star Fox 64 anyway.
Yes, it was.
So canon, done.
Yeah.
All right, so fucking. Let's try to fucking center ourselves here. We kind of
we kind of spiraled out of control there.
We kind of did a barrel roll into a whole different topic.
Let's take a deep breath here. Final Smash Brothers Nintendo Direct. So aside that was the character ballot shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna come up. How would you feel if Crystal made it into the game?
Honestly.
All right, that's enough of that. Okay. Anyways, time to introduce our what I hope will become a weekly segment. The video game soundtrack of the week.
Oh boy, I've been waiting for this.
Okay,
you can go first.
We're cutting into the last. I'm looking at my invisible wristwatch. We're cutting into the. We're near the end of our run, so we got to do our weekly segments now. So, weekly segment number 1. Video game soundtrack of the week, where we talk about what video game soundtrack we've been listening to a lot this week, because we suck and we have bad taste in music.
Basically.
So I'll start because mine's a bit of a breakout hit. I have been playing. Well, a friend of mine bought Danganronpa Another Episode Ultra Despair Girls on the PlayStation Vita, and I watched an LP of it so I could kind of talk with him about the game. I know nothing of Danganronpa. I just know the plot of the first game, which spoilers and stuff.
Spoilers. Is it really spoilers? Because the game's been out since for like 3
I know.
years.
It's like you know what? I'm just gonna say it. Spoilers if you don't care. Fucking Junko's the Antichrist. There, it's done. So I've been listening to the soundtrack. I love that main theme. I remember when I sent it to you and you just said that main theme though.
It's so good. So catchy. Honestly.
It's great.
Like
go
so
ahead.
I was just gonna say one of the best parts of the entire Danganronpa series is the soundtrack, because it's just so infectiously good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Go ahead.
Okay. And like the song that plays when you go become Genocide Jack is it sounds like it's from Undertale. Which is kind of neat. But the game was kind of like not greatly received, and I know not that much about the series. My friend says the writing is typical of the story. It's just now it's tacked onto a third-rate third-person shooter rather than a third-rate Ace Attorney. And I'm like, yeah, all right. I think I might go and check out the first Danganronpa game now. So hey, good job, another episode. You did your job. Anyways, your turn.
You did your job convincing people to actually play other games in the series. I'm shocked. But, so, it's funny that you mentioned Undertale, because my video game soundtrack of the week is Undertale.
Big shocker!
If you know me personally, this should not come as a surprise. I've been playing Undertale since, on and off, probably since mid-October, and I'm not gonna really get into the game because spoilers, but it's a
Tag
really
your Undertale spoilers.
There we go. There it is. I was waiting for that to happen, but fucking... Okay. So, let's just talk about the soundtrack for a minute, because holy fucking shit is the soundtrack... It's honestly the best part of the game. If you're not familiar with Toby Fox, he actually did a lot of music for Homestuck, which is another reason why I was interested in Undertale in the first place, but... Honestly, the Undertale soundtrack, save for one very specific song that only plays in one very specific part of the game, sounds absolutely nothing like his Homestuck music. And that's a good thing. I
was about to ask what song it was, then I realized how stupid I am.
Okay.
Spoilers, Megalovania's in the game, and it's the best version of it ever.
Yes, it's the best version of Megalovania for two reasons. Number one, it's a good version of Megalovania. Number two, it completely obliterates any association with a certain Homestuck character to that song, and I'm very happy about that, because I fucking hate that Homestuck.
So we're not getting into this.
But let's not get into that.
Anyways.
The Undertale soundtrack has such a variety of, there's different kinds of instrumentation implemented. You have chiptunes, you have... hard rock guitar, you have there's this one song in the game that's actually called Undertale. It's probably one of, if not my favorite songs in the entire fucking game. It's
beautiful.
The scene that it plays in, combined with the actual tone of the song itself, it's just, in a word, chill. And it's just so good. It fucking...
To put the soundtrack in perspective, my brother heard Spider Dance, and that song, he saw a fraction of the fight against Muffet. He heard Spider Dance. He went and played the game. That was the thing. He's like, I need to play a game that has music like this.
Right. It's just
Spider Dance is my personal favorite song on the soundtrack, with Death by Glamour coming in second.
Oh god, Death by Glamour is so good. But if there's one thing that Toby Fox is good at, it's writing music. And honestly, I think because he wasn't this is his own pet project. He's not really doing this for anybody but himself. He really had a lot of freedom to do whatever the fuck he wanted with it, and it shows.
A lot of passion.
Because there's such a variety of different everything, and it just all comes together in this fucking beautiful what's the word? I don't want to be pretentious.
A incredible shepherd's pie of the finest caliber.
Sure. Let's go with that. Just tie the whole pie thing in here. Why not? But there's songs, there's moments in the game that the soundtrack is just so perfectly paired with. It's just, you feel the emotion of that scene, even if you're not even anywhere near a computer to play it on. And it's a very good experience. If you haven't played Undertale yet, I don't know what the fuck you're waiting for. It's $10 on Steam. It's not even 10 hours long. You can
and it's a $10 game that's probably worth $30, and the soundtrack's only worth $10. So even if you buy both, you're still saving $10.
Exactly. But yes, just play Undertale. Just love yourself.
That reminds me, did you know the guy who did the music for Danganronpa is this? I think it might be just another episode. It's the same guy who did the music for No More Heroes, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So if you like No More Heroes, definitely check out another episode soundtrack.
Yeah, definitely. I honestly had no idea that was the case, but Anyway, the other weekly segment that we have planned, as far as I know, unless you have a third one that you didn't tell me about, is video games that we're playing this week, where we talk about video games that we are playing.
It just ties into what we should do every week, which is what are you doing this week? And an important aspect of that is what games we're playing, because we're gamers. That's what we do.
Yeah. So what have you been playing this week?
Well, this week I bought Yokai Watch. I haven't turned it on yet, though. I turned it on, but I don't even have the Yokai Watch in the game yet. And I also picked up the old Sword Art Online game on PlayStation 4. Now, don't kill me.
I still can't believe you did that, honestly.
It's only $20, and it's a big game, and I have a friend who really highly recommends it.
Yeah, but what you could do with that $20 instead is buy Undertale twice.
Or the game with the soundtrack.
Or the game with the soundtrack,
$20, you can buy Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown on your PlayStation 3. I think you can probably buy Senran Kagura Shinobi Versus for that price.
Okay, but before I do kill you, please explain to everyone that's listening why you actually bought the Sword Art Online game.
So Sword Art Online game on PS4 is actually a remake of a remake. There's a Sword Art Online game on PSP that never got localized. That was a big action RPG. And they later ported it to Vita, localized it, and they included the old PSP game plus a whole new game. And then the PS4 version of that is just a measly $20. It's a nice high-fidelity Animu game. And I'm not a fan of Sword Art Online, but I did watch it, and it's definitely worth having a couple laughs with your friends about. That show has so much incest.
I don't even want to imagine what kind of horrible shit happens in that show, honestly.
It's not that bad. It's just bad writing.
Okay, thank God.
And lots of bondage.
Oh, no thanks. I'm out. That's the last thing I need in anime, but go on.
But as for this week, games I've actually played, I was playing King of Fighters 13. I finally got that game with all the KOF 14 hype, and it's really good. I've been playing Twinkle Star Sprites with a mutual friend of ours on Fightcade. That game is so good. Fuck. Twinkle Star Sprites needs to come back. We gotta get this shit to Evo.
I don't know about Evo, but I agree that there needs to be more online shoot-em-ups, competitions and shit.
I discovered the Twinkle Star Sprites on Saturn is like a special edition. This week I got Twinkle Star Sprites on Saturn, and if you're a fan of the game, it's mind-blowing how much better the Saturn version is. So all you people out there with a presumably modded Sega Saturn, go download Twinkle Star Sprite Special on the Sega Saturn.
You're shilling to a very specific audience that I don't think anybody that follows me, or you
for that matter, is. Yeah, no. I don't think there's anyone on Earth who can turn their head from their computer and see their Sega Saturn next to their TurboGrafx with a Sega Stunner sitting on the table.
Other than you, right?
Other than me. I'm the only one. I've got the fucking EverDrive in the TurboGrafx. I'm looking at it and just smacking my lips going, I could go for some Devil Crush right now.
Well, you can do that later.
Oh my god, I'm sorry to trail back a second here, but I said it was the No More Hero guys, Masafumi Takada, who did the music.
Uh-huh.
He scored Super Smash Bros. 4.
Did he really?
And Kid Icarus Uprising with 5 other guys. And Killer 7. So, yeah, I'm looking at his bibliography here. Everything good he did.
Well, he also did I'm pretty sure he did the soundtracks for the first two Danganronpa games as well, because that name sounds familiar.
It would appear.
I know at least the first one.
Yeah, he did the first one. He did Trigger Happy. Yeah, he did both. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Anyways, go on.
Okay, so what I've been playing this week is another game that probably not a lot of people that,
I'm going to guess it. Is it Musuhime-sama?
It's Musuhime-sama.
Yes.
Okay, so if you don't know what Musuhime-sama is, it's a Japanese arcade shoot 'em up
by Cave.
And if you know anything about arcade shoot 'em ups, specifically Cave, you'll know that it is very difficult.
And you're probably cheering right now because it's so good.
Yeah, right? Oh my god. Okay, so I've been waiting for Cave to port their games to the PC for probably since I heard about them.
Everyone was. It was to the point that people were getting excited over the Xbox 360 emulator specifically so they could play cave shooters.
I didn't even know that people were getting excited about an emulator for that.
But people were actually getting excited about it because it was like, oh my god, I can finally play the cave shooters without buying a used Xbox and importing the games. Which
is weird because you could actually play a lot of them on MAME. To be honest,
you?
This is all legally acquired, of course, but I have played fucking Dodonpachi, the second Dodonpachi, fucking Esperade, Escaluda, Gawange even on MAME in the past. I don't remember exactly where I have the files at, but yeah, it's definitely like they're in like secret hidden versions of MAME that you can only find if you Google exactly the right phrase at 3:14 in the morning on a Saturday.
You gotta find the right emulator for the board, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And when the more specific the hardware, the harder it is to emulate. Like
exactly.
I spent almost a full year trying to get Final Fight Revenge to emulate, and now I can just play it on my Sega Saturn.
So that works out perfectly. But yeah, the one thing that I'm really excited about, specifically with Mushihime-sama, is it's a port of the Xbox 360 version, which in itself is a port of the arcade version, but with updated graphics and different modes and shit. Now, since there's a port of the 360 version, the possibility that they will port other games that have been released on the 360 to the PC is highly likely, especially considering how well received it is. Mm-hmm. And the quality of the port, while a bit shaky at first, which is, to be expected since it was the first one that they ported and there was, some problems. Like, the game, for me, wouldn't even start up. Like, I would run it, I'd get at the title screen, I'd press a button, and it would instantly crash. But they fixed that really quickly.
I know we're talking about ports of arcade shmups. I'm a big fan of Gradius.
Oh, man.
I really love Gradius. I want Odomedius Excellent to go to PC. And I know I play a lot of whatever fan service ecchi games. Who the fuck cares? I genuinely see... I have a friend who I don't know personally. Like, it's online, whatever. And he has Odomedius Excellent. And he's like, dude, if you really like Gradius, this game's actually really good for you. And I'm just like, I just want Gradius. I want Gradius, and I can't. I played them all, but I can't play Odomedius.
What I really want, specifically, if I had to pick 3 cave shoot 'em ups that I want on Steam, number 1 is fucking, oh god, what's the third Dodonpachi game? I don't remember the subtitle.
Is that the one with the ladies?
Well, there's 2 with ladies. It's the first one with the ladies. Dodonpachi Daifukatsu, that's it.
Okay.
The one that came out in 2008. And, what else? So, Dodonpachi Daifukatsu, fucking... What's the new one? Saidai Ojo, I think, is the newest one?
I think Saidai Ojo was the third one, yeah.
No, Saidai Ojo is the one that came out in 2012, also known as the quote-unquote last cave arcade game that may or may not make another one after, but... Mm-hmm. And the last one is probably, just to not pick Dodonpachi as all of them, probably Esperade, because that's one that I played a lot of on MAME, and I actually really liked it a lot.
Esperade's really cool. That was a game that had really good promo artwork.
Yeah,
that's actually where I first heard of it. Was like, it's like, hey, did you see that cave shooter with the good art? And I'm like, which one? And then they show me the Esperade art, and I'm like, whoa, I want to see an anime of this.
Oh man. You know what? Let's not get into the topic of bullet hell games with anime, because we could probably talk about a very specific one for an entire episode.
Oh, which one is it? Is it the one about Oh.
I just said we're not going to get into that. But, I don't know. We'll probably talk more about that next week, because I think we're probably running out of time.
We can go just a little bit longer. We're going to hit our final segment right before we close out. What are you going to do this week?
Oh, boy. Well, In America, Thanksgiving is this week, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. On Thursday, I'm probably, hopefully, not going to have work that entire day, but we'll see about that. This week, I plan on playing all the shit that I said I was going to play in this specific episode, being the Indivisible prototype, and what was the other thing? I'll figure it out later. And just honestly, just fucking, I need to do something to de-stress because I have been fucking up to my eyeballs in math for the past month and a half, and I'm just like, I need to punch something.
You've had a bad week.
It's been a week.
I've had a pretty rough week too. Like November is always when they pile on the bullshit in college, university. And this week I had this huge essay to write where it had to be 3 pages long, but the amount, like what we had to write about, was not something you could make an economic business essay. That it was impossible. So you kind of had to bullshit it a bit.
Was this for like fucking psychology or something? Or?
It was for English because you have to take an English course.
Right. Right. But so that's what I'm gonna do this week. What are you gonna do this week?
Well, I'm hopefully gonna get to the Sword Art Online game. I also picked up Gakko of War on Steam, a Greenlight game. I've heard things. I want to give it a shot. I bought a copy for you.
Yes, you did, and I'll probably be playing that with you at some point. If not tonight, maybe tomorrow. I don't know.
Probably tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow.
Well, my brother's watching Survivor Series.
That sounds like a plan to me.
And what I do every week, I'm going to at least play a little bit of Warframe with my friend Neek.
So that'll be fun.
I love Warframe. Good game.
Yes, Avery, we know you love Warframe.
I know, okay? Shut up. Update 18's coming soon. They're going to add Wukong.
That means nothing to me.
He's a monkey robot.
Okay, you've sold me. I'm going to install it right now.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
And anyways, I guess we should call her here. So this was our first week of Get Alongcast, and it was a lot of fun. I mean that.
Yeah, honestly,
I put a lot of sarcasm in that.
That wasn't as
this whole time. I'm sorry.
That wasn't as terrible as I was expecting it to be. And not that I was expecting it to be awful, I was just expecting it to be really awkward and hard to actually get into. But it turned out to be exactly the opposite.
It's almost like we were friends the whole time.
Right?
Maybe there is a future for us as good friends.
I fucking doubt it.
Oh.